Good day. Welcome to Curriculum Concepts, Nature, and Purposes by Purita B. Bilbao. By the way, my name is Jean Lovey P. N. All right, let's begin. There are many definitions of curriculum. Because of this, the concept of curriculum is sometimes characterized as fragmentary, elusive, and confusing. However, numerous definitions indicates dynamism that connotes diverse interpretations of what curriculum is all about. The definitions are influenced by modes of thoughts, pedagogies, political, as well as cultural experiences and curriculum from different points of view. Number one, traditional point of view of curriculum. Number two, progressive points of view of curriculum. Traditional point of view. In the early years of 20th century, the traditional concepts field of the curriculum is that it is a body of subjects or a subject matter prepared by the teachers for the students to learn. It was synonymous to the course of study and syllabus. Traditional point of view, Robert M. Hutchins views curriculum as permanent studies, where the rules of grammar, reading, rhetoric, and logic and mathematics for basic education are emphasized. And Arthur Besser, an essentialist, believes that the mission of the school should be intellectual training. Joseph Schwab's view of curriculum is that discipline is the sole source of curriculum. In our education system, curriculum is divided into chunks of knowledge. We call subject areas in the basic education, such as English, mathematics, science, social studies, and others. In college, discipline may include humanities, sciences, languages, and many more. Most of the traditional ideas curriculum as written documents or a plan of action in accomplishing goals. Curriculum is defined as the total learning experiences of the individual. This definition is anchored in John Dewey's definition of experience and education. He believed that reflective thinking is a means that unifies curricular thought is not derived from action but tested by application. And then the number two, progressive point of view of curriculum. Caswell and Campbell view curriculum as all experiences children have under the guidance of teacher. Marsh and Willis view curriculum as all the experiences in the classroom, which are planned and entered by the teacher and also learned by the students. Smith, Stanley, and Shores define curriculum as a sequence of potential experiences set up in schools for the purpose of disciplining children and youth in new ways of thinking and acting. Curriculum is a dynamic process. Development connotes changes, which are systematic. A change for the betterment means any alternation, modification, or improvement of existing conditions. To produce positive changes, development should be purposeful, planned, and progressive. This is not. There are two models of curriculum development by Ralph Taylor and Phil Betham. Ralph Taylor's model four basic principles that Taylor's rationale. Number one, purposes of the school. Number two, educational experiences related to the purposes. Number three, organization of the experiences. And number four, evaluation of the experiences. Hilda Taba, linear model, grassroots approach. She improved Tyler's rationale by making a linear model. She believed that teachers who teach or implement the curriculum should participate in developing it. She presented seven major steps to her model where teachers could have major input. Number one, diagnosis of learners' needs and expectation of the learner's larger society. And number two, formulation of learning objectives. And number three, selection of learning content. Number four, organization of learning content. And number five, selection of learning experiences. And number six, organization of learning activities. And then number seven, determination of what to evaluate and the means of doing it. And there are types of curriculum operating in schools. Number one, the recommended curriculum. Most of the curricula are recommended, proposed by scholars and professionals organizations. The curriculum may come from a national agency or any professional organization who has stake in education. And written curriculum include class includes documents, course of study, or syllabi for implementation. Most written curricula are made by curriculum experts with participation of teachers. An example of this is the Basic Education Curriculum, the BEC, and the written lesson plan of each classroom teacher made up of objectives and planned activities of the teacher. And the number three, thought curriculum. The different planned activities which are put into action in the classroom compose the thought curriculum. These are varied activities that are implemented in order to arrive at the objectives of or purpose of the written curriculum. They varied according to the learning styles of the students and the teaching styles of the teacher. And number four, supported curriculum. In order to have a successful teaching, other than the teacher, there must be materials which should support or help in the implementation of a written curriculum. Support curriculum includes material resources such as textbooks, computers, audiovisual materials, laboratory equipment, playgrounds, zoos, and other facilities. Support curriculum should enable each learner to achieve real and lifelong learning. And number five, the assessed curriculum. This refers to a tested or evaluated curriculum. Series of evaluation are being done by the teachers at the duration and in end of the teaching episodes to determine the extent of teaching or tell if the students are progressing. Assess tools like pencil and paper tests, authentic instruments like portfolio are being utilized. And number six, learning curriculum. This refers to the learning outcomes achieved by the students. Learning outcomes are indicated by the result of the test and changes in behavior, which can be either cognitive, affective, or psychomotor. Number seven, the hidden curriculum. This is the unintended curriculum, which is not deliberately planned, but uh, modify behavior or influence learning outcomes. Peer influence, school environment, physical condition, teacher learner interaction, mood of the teacher, and many other factors make up the hidden curriculum. And number eight, concomitant, concomitant curriculum. Things that are taught at home, those experiences that are part of a family's experiences or related experiences sanctioned by the family. This type of curriculum may be received at church in the context of religious expression, lessons and values, ethics, or morals, molded behavior, or social experiences based on a family's preferences. And number nine, the phantom curriculum. The messages prevalent in and through exposure to media. And number 10, none. This is what is not taught. Not teaching some particular idea or sets of ideas may be due to mandates from higher authorities to a teacher's lack of knowledge or to deeply ingrained assumptions and biases. So there are major foundations of curriculum: the philosophical, historical, psychological, and social. Ralph Taylor's framework shows that philosophy is one of the five criteria in selecting education purposes. The four educational philosophies: the perennialism, essentialism, progressivism, and reconstructionism. The perennialism is to educate the rational person to cultivate the intellectual. Teachers help students think with reason. Classical subjects literally analyze, and curriculum is constant. Use of great books and return to liberal arts. And the essentialism to promote the intellectual growth of the individual and educate a competent person. The teacher is the sole authority in his or her subject area or field of specialization. Essential skills of the three R's and essential subjects of English, science, history, math, excellence in education, back to basics, and cultural literacy. Progressivism to promote democratic and social living. Knowledge leads to growth and development of lifelong learners who actively learn by doing. Subjects are interdisciplinary, integrative, and interactive. Curriculum is focused on students' interests, human problems, and affairs. School reforms relevant and contextualized curriculum humanistic education. And reconstructionism to improve and reconstruct the society education for change. Teachers act as an agents of change and reform in various educational projects, including research, focused on present and future trends and issues of national and international interest. Equality of educational opportunities in education, access to global education. And there are historical foundations of curriculum. There are curriculum theorists. William Kilpatrick viewed curriculum as purposeful activities which are child centered. The purpose of curriculum is child development and growth. Harold Rugg, curriculum should develop the whole child. He emphasized social studies in the curriculum, and the teacher plans the lesson in advance. And then Holy Castle sees curriculum as organized around social functions of themes, organized knowledge, and earners' interest. And Ralph Tyler believes that curriculum is a science and an extension of school's philosophy. So the historical development shows the different changes in the purposes, principles, and content of the curriculum. The different changes are influenced by educational philosophy, psychology, and pedagogical theories. This implies that curriculum is ever changing, putting in knowledge and content from many fields of discipline. Psychology provides a basis for the teaching and learning process. It unifies the elements of the learning process and some of the questions which can be addressed by psychological foundations of education. There are three major groups of learning theories. Number one, the behaviorist psychology. Number two, the cognitive psychology. And number three, the humanistic psychology. Behaviorist psychology consider that learning should be organized in order that students can experience success in the process of mastering the subject matter. The method is introduced in a step-by-step manner with proper sequencing of tasks, which is viewed by other educational psychologists or simplistic and mechanical. And the cognitive psychology, to the cognitive theorist, learning constitutes a logical method for organizing and interpreting learning. Learning is rooted in the tradition of subject matter and is similar to the cognitive development theory. Teachers use a lot of problem and thinking skills in teaching and learning. These are exemplified by practices like reflective thinking, creative thinking, intuitive thinking, discovery learning, and many more. The humanistic psychology. Humanist psychologists are concerned with how learners can develop their human potential. The process, not the product's personal needs, not the subject matter, psychological meaning, and environmental situations. In summary, psychology has a great influence in the curriculum. Learners and are not machines, and the mind is not a computer. Humans are biological beings affected by their biology and cultures. The psychological foundations will help curriculum makers in nurturing a more advanced, more comprehensive, and complete human learning. And that's all for today. Have a nice